Welcome back. So, you know what makes me more tired than anything? Is working on MTVRs. Everything's so big. It's painful. It's been a minute since I posted anything about the MTVR I got, the 7-ton. So, there's been a lot that's happened in between my last video and what's going on now. So, I've sold a house, moved out, went to the record games, done some work, had some projects at home. Juggling a lot of stuff, and so I've been taking little snippets of content here and there, and I'm trying to put it together, but honestly it's going to be very patchy and I really don't care. I'm just sharing some stuff, so apologies. I don't take a lot of time to edit. It's either it all clips together nicely or it's junk, and get what you get. With that, nice day. Unfortunately, I have to work today, but look at that. I should be zooming back and forth in a boat, but my boat's in pieces because I just took the pump apart because I've been sucking rocks to that thing for years, and I think my impeller and my weir ring are shot, so the boat has like maybe half the power it should have. So that, maybe I'll show you that someday. Not today, but I'll get to that. It's cool. Jet drives, just awesome. Yeah, what was I talking about? Trucks, yeah. Just a reminder, when I got this truck, it did not have a top, and it's got bad tires and a dash that's not working. So while I'm working on it, I'm looking for parts. So this is the guy that had a rig on Marketplace, and he's scrapping out. He bought it at a bar stow just to basically salvage the axles. So I got pretty dang lucky that found a guy local. He only lives about an hour from me, and I almost got too excited, started taking it apart before I took a video clip. But yeah, the top is mostly there. It's got a couple dings in the top of the window, but she's all there. So I'm going to see if I can figure out how to take this thing apart. He got a forklift and whatever I need, get this loaded on the truck. I think he's going to give me the air dryer because I don't know if mine's in good shape, and that one looks all right. And then a couple 2010 tires. I probably wouldn't run as fronts, but they look good for rears. I don't know. There's some other slide gates back here. I got to see if there's a rear. I think I need that, but just keep looking around. Oh, should grab some mud flaps. I had a transfer case. I don't know. He wants to just give it to me, but I should just take it. I don't know what the hell I'll do with it. Put it in something. So yeah, $500 for the top, and he's throwing some other stuff in for fun. Oh, and I got a better air cleaner than what I got. So, all right, getting to work. So I filled up my truck with as much stuff as I could jam in there. I gave him a little extra money because I took more parts than I expected. You never know when you're gonna need spares or trade stuff down the road. So next issue, I was trying to fix my dash. I got into the dash a little bit and found a fried capacitor, but to date haven't been able to find anybody to tell me what capacitor that is. So I was able to buy an MRAP dash, and I've got it out with a guy right now who says he can rebuild it and make it work for the MTVR. So I'm hoping that comes together soon. Welcome to Gov Planet in Herlong. Kind of out in the sticks. We get some cool stuff out here though, once in a while. I got some Humvees and some stuff over there. Typical Gov Planet. A little trailer out in the middle of the sticks. So I think a guy's over there grabbing my tires right now. All right, there she is. 1600 by R20s. They're pretty beat up. Like I said, I only paid $600 for 5, so if they save me one time, it'll be worth it. I haven't even looked at date codes yet. Don't critique my rigging yet. I'm gonna go beat it up down this dirt road, slam the brakes a couple times, let these things reset, and then I'll re-anchor everything. But yeah, that's a tight fit, eh? I think that's what I like about doing this stuff the most, is just coming up with creative ways to get it home. It's the recovery. Yo, what's up? Hey. Hi. Say good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Where's the kitties?
And the squirrels. There's no squirrels out here. This is desert. Ground squirrels. All right, onward. Got more stuff to do. Oh, I can't say that word. It's bad. You can see my truck squatting a little bit. That's because them tires is freaking heavy. So the next project was building a windshield, and I like the look of the ballistic windshield. It's just badass. So I decided to study a little bit, get some pictures on the internet, and didn't have any dimensions, so I just scaled stuff off the internet best I could and jumped into it. Okay, so it's been a few minutes since I had a chance to work on this, but I'm getting back to it. So I was able to pick up that top for the MTVR, but it had no windshield. I want to copy the design of the ballistic, or the armored, whatever you call it, which is a two-piece windshield deal, and I'm just using some polycarb. So I had this aluminum sheet. I'm putting rib nuts around the perimeter, so I'm just getting this. I'll get that sheet rib nutted in, and then I'll lay over the other windows that I've cut out, which I'll take you over there and show you those. If you don't got one of these rib nut tools, I mean, between the Humvees and the MTVR, it is one of the coolest ways to bolt stuff, especially on aluminum. So, and things that are hard to get to. So get one. And making our way over to the window shop. Same sheet of aluminum. I just cut out the rough dimension of the windows. And then I got this, what is this, Lexon? It's a polycarb. So I got these on eBay. What are they, 24 by 36? And it was $100 a sheet, just about. I think it was cheaper than I could get it at the local plastic store. These are 1/2 inch thick. Leaving the plastic wrap on until I'm totally done. So these frames will overlay on the other aluminum frame, or basically sandwich the polycarb. And then I'll do a bunch of perimeter bolts, and then I'll paint everything, and probably even paint the perimeter. And then the last thing I'll do is strip the protective coating off and bolt it all together. So you can use a regular skill saw. You just go get yourself a, what is it, a non-ferrous blade. There's blades that are specific to aluminum. And then I just made my rough cuts. I did a plunge dive, do all my straight lines. I basically was using a, whatever you got for a straight edge, but I'm using my level. I just clamp it in and measure 1.5 inches off, or whatever the fence distance is, and you just use that as a straight edge. So I just plunge in, make my cut, just do it carefully, and clean it up with the sander. So it ain't perfection, but it works pretty good for junkyard tools, like junkyard dogs. That's you. Thank you, Marketplace, for a few more finds. I found these 1600 R20 tires, but they had MRAP wheels. So while I was in Utah for Matt's off-road games, hunting around, I found some MTVR wheels. And yeah, that gives me the ability to have a couple spares when it's all said and done. I got my tires swapped over here. Okay, it's MTVR tire day. I'm already out of breath from untorquing these bolts, but I've been looking for some 53-inch 1600 R20 tires for my rig, because down there I got bad fronts. So I found these on Marketplace, because there's nowhere to buy anything except for Marketplace. The world revolves around Marketplace. Brand new, still got the little road thingies. I can't say the word because it might be inappropriate. Paid $1,000. They're older, but they were stored inside and they look good. There's no cracks or nothing. So I believe these were either the MTVR or I'm sorry, MRAP. I think there's a couple different MRAPs out there, and I think this was the larger wheeled MRAP, like the troop transport one. So I've been told the offset won't clear the brakes, and I took a quick measurement and I think it's right. So I'll show that to you guys, and then I'll give you some specs on these wheels. So if you find these, I can confirm or deny whether they will fit on your MTVR. So helping, it really is good to have this little Mini X, because I don't think I could do this even with two strong friends. These tires are heavy. So I'm going to reuse, they got the newer Hutchinson bead lock, which is cool. When I bought the wheels, the MTVR wheels, guy gave me the older clamp together ones. So get these cleaned up, paint them, and then I'll mumble some more. Mumble, mumble, mumble. Zoom, 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 zoom. And a little help from the old man. All right, so I forgot to film, and I'll just take a break right now to kind of show you what I did. So I just dropped the section of rim into the tire, and so inside is the insert. I had the insert centered. I used some bead locker compound, which you can get this at Napa, or you just got to look around for it. But this is basically just liquid rubber, and it's soft, so it'll just take up any imperfections and hopefully keep your wheel from leaking. So I put the O-ring in the wheel, which I don't have a wheel apart to show you now, but the O-ring was in there. Just loosely put the nuts on so I wouldn't screw the threads up. Basically had the internal bead lock centered. I hit everything with some soapy spray water, just some Dawn in a spray bottle. Got it nice and soapy. Threw the rim on top, and then I just stood on it like this. Bounced a few times, and the thing slid right in. So now I flip it over again, which this machine's not really very sensitive. The controls suck, so it's all of a sudden it's really jerky. I've had some trouble just rigging up the tire with a strap and flipping it over a few times, but so I'm not going to show that on video because it's embarrassing. But I'll flip it over, and then I'll show what it looks from the other side, and then bolt this rim on, and then it'll look just like this one. So I'm ready to install this wheel. Haven't inflated it, not going to inflate it until I put it on the truck, hook it up to CTIS, make sure all that works. And that's going to be fun. So that's where I'm at. I just painted I had rust around kind of where the bead seats, and just threw some fresh paint on there. Not that you're going to see it, I just didn't want to let the rust keep propagating. So, all right, here we go. Let's talk about jacking up your MTVR. It's one of the scarier things I've done. I used two 12-ton Pittsburgh jacks here. Little redundancy. It felt like they were both struggling a little bit. So I've since ordered a 30-ton jack, and I probably should get a good quality 50-ton. But yeah, you definitely don't want one of these things falling. So take a lot of caution with that. All right, sorry about my being out of focus here. I just set the camera up on time lapse and walked away, and then I dropped the tire right here somewhere. The tire's so dang heavy that if it just gets out of your control for a split second, you just got to jump out of the way. And if that tire was to land on you, I think you'd be stuck there. So it was great having the Mini X to be able to pick the tire up and kind of help get it in position. You got to get the CTIS lined up just right. So a little bit of technique involved, but I figured it out. It seemed to work well on this first tire. All right, so I skipped a bunch of fab, and I'm sorry about that. I just don't have anyone to film it, and I need to get shit done, so I'll just keep going. But I basically drilled out the frame, the brackets, windows. You'll see it as I put it together, and I'll explain how I drilled it and everything. So this is the point where things get a little Western. You know, this is the joy of working by yourself. 700-pound tires, and just spent the last 30 minutes purging out the fuel system because the fuel system's contaminated. I drained the fuel water separator, and it just looked disgusting. So I just changed both filters. I'll have to go through and deal with that. But so here's my plan. So I got the top set in position. I think I'm going to run a chain hoist off this tree. We pulled this off with a forklift off the donor rig. And even with two guys, there's no safe way I can see doing this without some machinery. So chain hoist, get it up in the air, then I'll just drive under it, lower it down, put the pins in, bolt it up, and call it good. So there's my new tire. She's holding air well. This is a bad tire. It's going to be replaced. But yeah, I was happy that the fuel system purged out because I was having trouble getting it running again. You got to give it like 400 freaking pumps on this little primer system. What I learned
is that when you pull, there's this little deal right here. You got to unscrew that. You pull it out. It's like pull it out and it runs on suction. So give it 3 seconds and then push it in. And eventually it firms up, but it did take a little while. I got my workout.
Someone accidentally deleted all the footage of the chain fall and putting the top on and that whole calamity. So, idiot.
Okay, so if you have a rig that had the armor, the ballistic, and you're putting a regular top on, I'm assuming that's what I got. So I had to pull this off of the bottom of the dash where the hinge plate is. So this is a hinge plate that I guess attaches the ballistic windshield, and I have a regular windshield. So I got my top off another rig, but there's another piece that I've been struggling to figure out. I think I just got it figured out. This is all I know so far. So in the corners, I couldn't get the corners to sit down. So apparently this piece needs to come out, and then it exposes the alignment pin right there. Sorry, poor video. So yeah, I was struggling to see why this wouldn't come down, so I'll trim everything up. And then the other thing is my windshield doesn't have the hooks to put those brackets in, so I'll figure that part out, but I'm getting close. I'm gonna make it work no matter what, but getting close. It's gonna work, and then I can work on my windshield piece. Okay, so it took me about 20 minutes to pull this top off the donor vehicle. I think I've got 4 hours to put it back on. Just making things line up, and some things are getting stripped, and then like, hey, where does that go? And what's the bolt that goes with that? And so I figured it all out. So I got the top pretty much ready for the windshield. So I wanted to explain how I made this essentially, just because I don't think I quite went through that. So I started off with just a blank piece of aluminum, and I fitted up to the windshield and figured out my perimeter holes. I just did riv nuts in the windshield. That wasn't too hard. Once I had that, I didn't have the actual dimensions of what the ballistic windows are, so I scaled it off some pictures, and I couldn't make them a whole lot bigger because I needed space between the flange and the bolting and everything. So it's in the ballpark, and I just kind of mirrored what I saw on the internet. So then I again just kind of like made out a template, made out one of these, mirrored it over to the other one, and I used a skill saw to cut everything out. Once I had the templates cut out, I ordered some 1/2-inch polycarb and just sandwich the polycarb in between, lay out your bolt holes, screw everything, or drill out the holes, and I'm about to bolt it all up for the first time, so I'm hoping everything lines up. It should. So I'm just going to bolt it together, and then hopefully I can lift it into place, and we'll do the final test on on all these other holes. So I did it all in place, so everything should line up, but so I got drills, man. Round that shit out. Open it up.
And presto cadabra, it's installed. So overall, pretty happy with the way this turned out. Didn't have a lot of money or time into it. The polycarbonate I used is not the highest quality. It doesn't seem, it's got a little bit of little waviness to it, so not enough that it's going to impair my driving ability. It's just, I'm sure there's a better product out there.
Look at that